What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the SB Fantasy Football Podcast with your pals Alan and Rapid Dave. I'm Alan.
I'm RD. What's up, man?
You know what, brother? Just living the dream. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Just
Nice.
just winning games, slaying P. Same old, same old.
Did you get lost in like some YouTube reels or shorts or something today, or you've been on the TikTok, haven't you?
No, that's just life for me. That's it. I can't, can't stray from it. It just is what it is. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay.
Buddy. All right. Yeah.
So we had some big trades go through this week. We got some more injuries going on. We've got guys stepping up, guys being replaced. What are some of your initial where you want to go? Where do you want to start? What are we doing? What are we even doing here?
I mean, the big trade is Devontae going to the Jets. It was you
Is
could
it?
see it coming a mile away,
I
but
mean,
they're
I
like,
don't.
I like the memes with it. It's the one where was it that flex tape guy? He goes, terrible offense, everything discombobulated, and they're just crazy. Ford slaps on a 31-year-old receiver.
Yeah,
That'll
right.
like,
What's up, Michael? How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing good. Do we get the dubs this week? Hopefully.
and as soon as you saw the trade, you're like, okay, cool. It's his buddy. He's got him back, right? And but it's not going to change it really a whole lot. The defense looked kind of weaker than normal. Salah's the defensive head coach, so kind of makes sense. It slipped a little bit, but Aaron Rodgers and Hail Marys again. But he wants to blame other people. And Mike Williams, he's the scapegoat this week. It was Salah the week before. This week it's Mike Williams. Mike Williams is getting shipped off somewhere. So, but
But he's probably like, thank God, get me out of this fucking train wreck.
yeah, I could see that totally. I mean, the Jets, they decided to run the ball as well, so Brees Hall looked good. I mean, they could technically make a run for it because that division is so just it's kind of up for grabs if you want to say it, because the Bills are not dominant like at all. You know what I mean? They could cough up a loss. They can cough up a game easy. So
Look at this. He picked up Adams on waivers. That's
is
it's
that a
crazy
money
though.
league?
He was back at practice. Like all of a sudden that hamstring it's great. It's never felt better, right?
He's that Willy
Uh,
Wonka, you know what I mean? That every time that thing pops up, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. It's like when someone's about to get traded, they just start like, "Oh, I'm injured, I'm not playing," and so they don't put
right.
him on the field. They don't want any part of it, so they just kind of like, "Okay, he's hurt," and then all of a sudden he's fine.
He's
And
fine.
no one thought for a second anything was wrong with him. He just didn't
No,
want to play with Aiden O'Connell and the right. I mean,
uh,
when Carr left the Raiders, he was already done. Like he's like, I'm out. This place sucks. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in Vegas? But you're out there just kind of he's half-assing it. And I love Devontae Adams. I do, man. We've been big fans for a long time. Long time.
Michael did lose Shaheed to the knee injuries. That one hurts a little bit, but Devontae should be fine. If you're a Garrett Wilson owner, worry. I think.
Garrett
Yeah, I
Wilson's
can
going to get you down the field along with Brees Hall. Devontae Adams is going to take some red zone targets. That's what he's going to be there for, right? So, he's gonna get some touchdowns. So he's going to get you in PPR leagues probably 13, 12 to 14 points a game. Should
Who's that?
touchdown and some Devontae.
They should get you more than that.
Okay.
'Cause here's the thing with Rodgers. When he has a little buddy, like in Devontae, it just targets him. It's like Stafford with Cup, right? If Cup's on the field, that's who Stafford's throwing the ball to. If Devontae's on the field, that's who Rodgers is going to throw the ball to. That's
I
just
wonder who they dropped for Adams, Michael. Yeah, I want to know. He's like, you know what? I'm done with Devontae Adams. It must be a short bench. I mean, you're not dropping Devontae Adams. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't really done much this year, but it is what it is. Yeah. So that was one of the trades, and then the other one, Amari Cooper going to where the hell's he heading?
Yeah, but it was with Buffalo.
Buffalo. That's right.
Which I like that move.
I mean, he's good, right? It's
Right.
he's a you've seen what he can do with Flacco under center, right? In last year's playoff run or the end of the season playoff. So he's got it. They got like a couple picks out of it, I think. And one of the funniest parts was Jerry Jones. He thinks he's this GM of the year every year. And he like got like a 7th round pick for him. He traded him away or some crap. And it's like, like, dude, you're so far out there. I don't mind the trade, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. I think the Bills are just in trouble, right? Josh
So,
Allen's got some problems. He's not doing much this year. I mean,
well, that's
what
why
did he
you
do?
trade for Amari Cooper, though, right?
You
You
think
trade
that's
for
a
an
solve the
Amari Cooper.
problem?
That's definitely going to help. Oh, the dude dropped Devontae for Darius Slayton, and he hasn't even played Slayton.
Well, he missed that window. Well, I don't know. How long is what's his name gonna be? Malik gonna be out?
I think he's not listed as out yet, but
Dropped him and didn't even play him.
for Slayton,
It happens, man. It happens. So,
yeah,
I mean, him going to the Bills, you definitely, it's an upgrade, but I don't know. There's so many players out there, right? They got a lot of talent on wide receiver, a lot of talent. Obviously, he's going to run the ball and make some things happen. Kincaid catches a lot of balls out there. So does James Cook as well, but he's hurt. But, you never know. I mean, it's not, if you had Cooper, you're excited, right? Because at least now you're like, I could probably play him now.
right.
But if you didn't have, you're not going to go trade for him. There's no one you're willing to kind of give up for him and that unknown. But I mean, Amari Cooper's a damn good player.
Yeah, and like I said, he definitely gets a QB upgrade. He gets a whole team upgrade. I own Cooper in a couple leagues, and I'm excited now.
You
Like,
manage him. You don't say it like that, dude.
uh,
God, Jesus.
come on now.
If they got with Shaheed Amoni, nice. Yeah, man, you got to be on your toes. Oh,
That's where you win your leagues, though. You win your leagues in free agency, picking up guys. It's not off the draft. You can draft a crap team and be active in free agency because there's always guys that pop up out of nowhere, right? Your league winners aren't your guys that you drafted. Your league winners are your guys that you picked up in free agency, pretty much.
yeah. After
So
injuries and stuff like that, yeah, absolutely.
exactly. The James Cook situation. Everyone's asking me, Saturday night, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I told everyone, I was like, look, and everything you're reading is he was trending towards playing. But you always got to worry about a player going into a Monday night matchup. And I said, look, if you've got anybody else viable, play them so you don't have to worry about James Cook. But if you've got nobody else, roll the dice. Or if you're not worried about it, like you're projected to win by like 60 points, right?
Yeah.
To be like, okay, I'm fine if I don't play him this week, or what if I lose this week, whatever, who cares, one of those situations. But the big thing was, hey, we're going into a Monday night matchup. We're not going to know until Monday night. Play somebody else, right?
Yeah. That's exactly what I did. I was like, yeah, I'm not worried about this. I'm not going to sit there and sweat it. And then when you're talking about always trending towards starting, does that sound like a guy that's going to go off? You know what I mean? No.
And that's the other concern, right? Because we were talking a lot about players that are going into games injured, right? Coming off of injuries. And it's like, well, if he plays, cool. But here's the thing: if you got a guy who's fully healthy, go with that. Because I think one of the questions I had was Bucky Irving or James Cook. I'm like, look, Bucky Irving is starting. He's gonna get the carries. He's healthy. Go with him.
Mhm.
Cook is, yeah, if Cook plays, he could have a really great game, but he could not play. He might not play, which he didn't end up playing, or he could re-aggravate that injury early, right? So those are tough situations, but you hope that you have somebody else, and you go with the guy who's going into the week healthy versus a guy who's going into it banged up.
Yeah, and it also helped that Rashad White was out. You know what I mean? That made that decision so much easier. Even though they started kind of just running away with it, obviously, and then hell, their even third string running back was falling in the end zone and whatnot. What's his name? Tucker, whatever. I can't think of his name right now, but oh yeah, Sean Tucker or S Tucker.
Yeah, I actually saw Tucker
Sean
picked
Tucker.
up in a few leagues
Yeah,
that were in, and I'm
he's
like,
still a
okay,
free agent in this one. He scored 34 points, 1% rostered.
it was it was he's getting carries in a blowout type situation. Don't get too excited about him,
Yeah.
right?
He's performing too. So they're like, oh, yeah, he's going to earn some extra snaps. And I mean, you don't really have to rush Rashad White back because between Irving and Tucker, yeah, but you're playing against New Orleans. And that game was close for a while. And then all of a sudden they kicked it up a notch. So that,
Yeah, swapped White for Irving. Yeah,
there you go.
there
Good
we go.
decision there.
The situation everyone's been talking about all year, that Travis Etienne, is he done now?
Might be. So, John, I mean, I don't know the severity of his injury. to be honest with you. But you said you see all the posts and whatnot coming up. Did it ever come out and say what it was?
Um,
Like the actual what happened to him?
I
Yeah,
thought
find
it
out
was
what the find out
general
what the
suckery. they were, they were like, "Hey, Bigsby's doing all right." They're saying hamstring.
yeah. I mean, you're still holding on to him. You're not going to bench him. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, I'm gonna bench him. I
Tank's
haven't
not
been
really
playing him in a while.
doing anything anyways. I mean, he's out there, he's getting touches and stuff like that, but he's not tearing it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but if you have to, obviously, if you had the handcuffs, you're like, hey, I got him. Tank, Bigsby, or Juju to start. I mean, isn't
I'm
Juju
going.
still on the positive side out there in Kansas City? There ain't nobody available, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to know if it's PPR, but I don't know that it makes that big of a difference. I still think I'm going with Juju if it's standard.
A little bit
But
more
hey
upside.
guys, what's up? Richardson, Gino, or Cousins? Kirk Cousins. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, looked at the matchups, but I don't like Richardson. It's no secret. He didn't play this week. Um, I don't
He'll
know
be
if
back this week, but I can't risk it. And I think Cousins has already shown Cousins is going to get his points. You know what I mean? So, uh,
he's full participant in practice today. He doesn't have that injury designation, which means he's going to be coming back. Here's the only thing why going up against Miami, which they're the toughest team against quarterbacks. So I don't like that aspect of it.
and he
I,
won't have to score a lot of points either. He leaned on the run game pretty heavy this week. The run game was going pretty well. Uh, and that's the thing, right? He might actually get scripted out of it. Where if he scores a touchdown, throws one, then they run it the rest of the time. Miami has no offense.
no, no.
So then you kind of like you're looking at Gino. Gino's playing. That Falcons and the Seahawks are playing this week. They're playing against each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, Gino threw it like 70 or 60 something times this past
52.
week. 52.
30 of 52, 312 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions.
When I heard that number, I go, "Holy crap!" But yeah, with the Falcons, I like it. I thought you said they're playing Miami. Who's playing Miami?
Um,
Oh, the Colts. Yeah,
the
I mean,
Colts.
I'm not even considering Richardson starting at this moment, especially with the other two dudes. It is definitely between Gino and Cousins for me, and I think with Cousins at home in Atlanta, it's going to be Cousins.
I say, and definitely more of an upside with Cousins. Um, they
Absolutely.
like to sling the ball, right? He's
Mhm.
got weapons there. You've seen the big games out of him this year, right? I'm a Cousins guy. I'm not a Richardson guy. I've been out on him all season, and he's done nothing but
He just gets hurt. Like
Yeah.
who's to say he's not going to get hurt in the middle of this game?
Well,
You know what I
and
mean?
when he's in, it's a big play or nothing. He either throws it for a 60-yard touchdown or he farts and falls down.
Yeah.
And he's a lot better at farting and falling down than he is at throwing 60-yard touchdowns. That's all there is to it. Waddle or Dubs?
Who the hell's Dubs?
I don't know.
I'm trying
I
to
don't
say
know.
the B Dubs.
I mean, I'm going Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
So
I don't
hopefully
even know who Dubs is, but I guess I'll take him over Waddle. Who the hell's throwing the ball in Miami? I was just complaining about Miami.
I just don't like that Miami. I don't
You
want
got
to
no
play
chance.
anybody from Miami.
Uh-uh.
I haven't
No.
been playing A-Chain.
Yeah.
Like, you just have a seat, buddy.
Dubs can be the
Romeo
backup.
Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, I'll take Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah. Dubs.
I'm assuming. Well, that's Michael answering for John, but
Yeah, he's saying that's what it is. Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
no
it's
one
got
else.
to be right. But
Mhm. Yeah, give me Dubs. Romeo. I
yeah,
got you.
give me Romeo. I just better situation overall.
More upside.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I mean, just it's a train wreck out there. Is Tua supposed to come back next week? Week 8?
Is he really?
That's what I heard.
I hadn't heard anything.
There's a possibility. I I don't know
I
what
just
they're
want the
gonna
guy
do.
to just
I want him to retire too, but he got paid a ton of
to
dollars. They're
offer a job.
gonna have to move him. No,
They they expect him to play again this year.
yeah.
Um, he's eligible to return in week 8.
Oh, okay.
So
If they want to salvage their season, they better get his ass out there. But you know what they need? They need to put like 2 of those whatever caps on them. You know what I mean? Like double wrap that damn thing. What are the Guardian caps? Put 2 of those MFers on there.
Um,
No. The dude splits a backfield with Zeke Elliott. He's on a terrible team, mismanaged from T to B. They don't know what they want to do. Zeke's got like naked pictures of Jerry banging some, Buffalo Wild Wings waitress or something. Hell no. No, hell no. Like you could probably get a hell of a lot better with Eckler. You know what I mean? You could get some top tier shit.
I will say this: Zeke doesn't get the ball that much anymore, right? It seems to be more so Rico's backfield, whereas Eckler's just kind of a placeholder right now for Brian Robinson. When Brian Robinson comes back, that's his backfield. But Eckler can still. I feel more confident with Eckler as a number 2 guy than I do as Rico as a number 1 guy.
Yeah, and especially if you're in a PPR format, Eckler does get you. He gets you points every single week, right? It's been like that all season. But what could you get for Eckler? I don't know. You have to see what league, what you want, what you need. I'm not trading Eckler to go get another running back that doesn't
depending
really
on unless you got some guy who doesn't know the worth, right?
Yeah, but definitely not for Rico. Like there's someone else out there that you might be looking for. It's an RB2, essentially what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Eckler's a flex, RB2 flex kind of guy. So you're looking for someone that you think is going to have more upside the second half of the year. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we're not halfway through the year, but it's week 7, man. This year's flying.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? I have Wilson Fields on a bye week. I'm hoping that Winston can take over by then.
Well, Fields ain't a starter anymore, so you can pretty much cut his ass for now.
Is that for sure?
Yeah, for this week. I don't even think. I bet you Russell Wilson don't finish the damn game. and I'm not dropping Fields. I got him as our 3rd quarterback in the SB Fantasy Football League, and now one of my guys is on bye. I had Dak. Yeah, Dak's on bye. I'm like, so I'm not dropping because there's no one out there. I think there's there's no one available. So I'm like, well, this is it. So, and I'm holding on hope. But yeah, Winston sucks. What's up, old school? What's going on, brother? Good to see you in here, baby.
I mean, but are they ever going to go with Winston?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, he
what's the point?
I don't know.
You want to lose differently in a different way? Differently?
Yeah,
give me your upside of Jameis.
He's better than Watson.
Says who? How? He's the damn backup. He ain't better than nobody.
Dude, the Cleveland is the only team in the league that will start Deshaun Watson over Jameis Winston. They're the only team in the league that's that dumb to do that.
They're like, we paid him all this money, now we're stuck. I wouldn't. I mean,
not even Jerry would do that. They wouldn't even do that here in Dallas.
You're gonna get you could get a good game out of him, but you could get 5 interceptions at with 4 pick sixes with Winston. You know what I'm saying?
But hey,
he's not an upgrade either.
Are more completions than Winston's throwing.
You got so week 9. What do we got? What the hell's week 9?
I think that's when he's looking at that situation.
Oh, okay. When you have Wilson and Fields.
Yeah.
I was reading that wrong. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If Cleveland's smart.
I read that wrong.
That already. Let's see here. Need 1 flex and 1 receiver. Singletary, Vital, Waddle, Braylon Allen. I mean,
that's some bad choices. Go get Singletary's backup.
We got to have better options, man. No, I mean, there's got to be better options out there. I mean, of course, you're going to go with Waddle because he's the only guy who has some potential, right? Braylon Allen, they shipped him to the back of the bench this week, which is crazy because he's been doing great. But then Brees got in and he was on a roll, so that whole situation is kind of unknown. Mm-hmm. Is Singletary really come back because Tracy's played good, right?
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy hasn't been bad. Man,
that's
sorry, John. That's all I got to say is just sorry. Whew.
Not great, man.
There's got to be some options out there.
Or Ray Davis, yeah. Ray Davis. There you go. Yeah, there you go. There's your option. If James Cook doesn't play, you play Ray Davis.
Yeah,
Bing,
there we
bing.
go.
You got you
Hey
got
guys,
solution.
I have to start 1 wide receiver, tight end, and 2 wide receivers. I have Mooney, McBride, Addison, Debo, Pittman, Juju, STD with only +1 point for 40+ yard receptions. Okay, so he gets the bonus, but it's only 1 point for the 40-yard receptions. Um, I like Addison and I like Mooney. I do like Juju's looked good. Debo, I mean, he looked good last week, right? But is it going to be more consistent? I don't. Pittman, if Richardson's playing, I don't like Pittman.
Can't trust him.
That's just I just don't like that whole situation. Um,
I don't know if McBride's going to play. Isn't he hurt too? You said collarbone or something like that earlier?
I thought he was no, that was Dalton Schultz's, I think, or
Oh,
no, Dalton Kincaid's dealing with a collarbone issue
Kincaid.
right now. Yeah. Um, Juju did look good this last week. Well, not this last week. He was on a bye, but the week before, right? Um, man,
I prefer Debo and Juju. I think I'm going to take wide receiver ones, which Debo is kind of a wide receiver one out there in San Fran. You know,
oh,
Mooney didn't
oh,
put up anything this past week because the run game was moving a lot. He's done well past couple weeks, but I think he can kind of get kicked to the curb. Addison has performed. What did he have? A 2-touchdown game? Was it the week before they went into the bye?
yeah.
Something. Anyway, yeah, he's been doing good, but Jefferson should eat into that. But he does garner a lot of attention. So, but I like Debo and Juju in this situation. Maybe slip in a little Addison. Like Bry's probably good for a touchdown and a couple catches, but you're in standard scoring, so you need the touchdowns. That's what you really need, right? Yards and touchdowns.
The only concern with Debo is he just doesn't get a ton of targets, so he's got to break something big, or else he doesn't get it right.
Mhm.
Like this last week, he only had 3 catches, but he went for 102 yards and a touchdown, 4 rushes for 15 yards. The week before that, he only saw 3 targets and had 1 catch against Arizona. The week before that, against New England, he had 5 targets with 3 catches for 58 yards. So you are dealing with a almost kind of like a TD dependent type situation with him. A boomer bust. You got a high ceiling with him, but you've got a pretty low floor with him,
Well, I'll say
right?
this: the Niners are at home hosting the Chiefs, so it's gonna be a damn shootout.
It will. The Chiefs have a pretty tough defense when it comes to wide receivers. Their secondary is pretty good. Um, but you could say the same thing about the 49ers and Juju, right? Um, I I think Juju's the guy that gets the majority of the receptions there. Um, kind of going forward with Worthy getting the big plays and then forcing the ball to him, right? And just drawing up plays just to get him the ball. Whereas Juju's going to be kind of like your guy that I think Mahomes is looking to as far as wide receivers are concerned. They're still, I mean, still Kelsey, right? Kelsey's going to start getting old Kelsey numbers, I think. You saw it this last week. I think it kind of continues on. I know I'm kind of leaning Juju and Addison is kind of where I'm leaning. I think Addison's more of the safer play than Debo, because Debo you can get. We've seen the weeks where we've got nothing out of him, right? Um, so for me, that's kind of where I'm going with that. Mooney in a close third. Well, you got to start 3. Okay, so Juju, Addison, and Mooney, I think is who I'm going with. I think Mooney's been the more consistent wide receiver over there in Atlanta here as of late. Uh, Season is flying by. Do I trade? It sure is old school. Welcome in, brother. Do I trade Terry and Laporta for Bijan and Ferguson?
Scary Terry, I guess.
Yeah, that's it's
Bijan's kind of been up and down. Ferguson really has Ferguson done much this year?
no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's you kind of
Laporta,
you're not doing anything unless you need a running back, right? You're not
Laporta had
you're,
a good play this week.
yeah.
Um,
You know what I'm
I,
saying? You're not getting any. What are you really trying to get out of this? You know what I'm saying?
I,
Like you
I
need
don't.
a running back.
Yeah, for me, I don't like the Ferguson aspect of it. It's almost like you're trading Terry and Laporta for Bijan, right? Unless I don't think Ferguson did anything this week, with this being the first week that Nico was out. Or no, that's wrong team. That's wrong guy.
That's the wrong dude, man.
Yeah. No, Jake Ferguson definitely did nothing against the nobody in freaking Dallas did anything this week.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't like Ferguson. Um,
I mean, I would get rid of Ferguson. If you're
right,
on
but
the other side of this trade, yeah, sure, I'd do it. I mean,
right.
I don't know about trading Bijan because you're getting Scary Terry and Laporta, but I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't like the trade
I
any
would
I just
I
don't
would
like
I wouldn't do that, Sea Dog. Don't do it. Don't do
mm,
it. I'm 5-1. I was given a trade for Devin A Chain. They want Eckler and Jackson Smith and Jigba for A Chain. I think it's a great trade. I don't know though. 10-man buying with randoms, and he just wants to make sure we understand he is receiving A Chain. Okay. So you get A Chain for Eckler and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I think you're banking on the fact that Miami will, Tua's coming back and it brings the offense back, right? And if that's the case, it's probably worth it. But he's one small slap to the head for being out for the season. And then you're right back where you're at where you can't even start A Chain. Like A Chain doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't. I would need to know what the rest of your roster kind of looks like,
I mean, do you
so I
need a running
know.
back?
Right? Do we need to make that move, or are we making moves just to make moves? Right?
Which
There's
I
a few
don't
trades
know.
that was brought up this last week, and they're like, I'm like, why would you even do that? You're just making a move just to make a move, and there's no reason to do that. And
Unless you
sometimes it's
prefer
you
the
get
guy though. Like if you actually
yeah,
prefer, you're a Miami fan, you're not a Washington fan or something like that, where you're like, oh, this is my guy. I like having him. I won with him last year. I think he could be great this year. I understand going and getting your guys, and that's someone that you might have missed out on. Now you're kind of trying to trade to go get, but there better be some upside. You better be thinking and hoping that Tua returns the lineup healthy and Miami takes off. Because that's what's gonna all it's what it coming down, it's what it's gonna come down to. They're not gonna fit nothing else is gonna be fixed there unless they trade for somebody, you know. I
yeah.
don't know, they
I
get
mean,
Tom Brady out of the booth or something, but
it's been bad. It's been bad for A Chain this year.
mhm,
He's dealing with a. He did practice fully. Been dealing with a concussion.
mhm. He
Um,
got popped too. Yep. Dude, that was an
I
ugly hit.
I don't think I do that. I think I stay away from it. Uh, everyone says not to use Pittman with Richardson, and Colts say Richardson is the main QB. So at this point, they better trade him or Pittman is kind of useless, right?
It's
I,
early. There's still Richardson, it's his 2nd year. He didn't play his 1st year. He got
he
hurt
played
after a
4
year.
games last year. He
Yeah,
played like a season of college football. Um, he
he's
just,
young.
but right now, like, especially if you're in your like a redraft league, I'm not playing Pittman unless Flacco's starting for me. Um, Unless I'm, like, covering, like, a bye week type situation, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks because you drafted Pittman pretty high, right?
Until he proves otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, if he
Yeah.
comes out and he starts, actually hitting some throws and getting Pittman the ball and whatnot, then yeah, I can be convinced to start Pittman. You know what I mean? But not as my wide receiver 1. If I got him in the flex or something like that, yeah, sure. But
Yeah.
I just right now, Richardson gets hurt all the time. You're waiting for Flacco to come back in, but they want to give the kid the chance. And he needs to develop. He really does.
Yeah.
He's just a little bit behind. And if he gets playing time, he gets to see everything a little bit at full speed. He gets better. He's got the arm, the power for it. But he's gotta dial everything else in, right?
You let the kid get healthy this year and you just play Flacco and just let him watch, right? Because it's not like last year when it was what was it? Was it Minshew was the backup last year there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're not learning a ton from Minshew, okay? I love Minshew. Dude's fun to watch, right? He's good. He's a fun guy to get behind and all that, but as far as, like, if he was my quarterback for my team, I'd be concerned, right? And I don't he's not gonna teach anybody anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
Teach you how to party, make some sweet, jorts, but other than that, you know,
Yeah.
um,
I don't
let's
see
see.
it either. I
Yeah,
don't know why they don't put Flacco in and just let it ride out the season. Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just let him get healthy.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, no Jonathan Taylor right now, just let him get healthy.
yep.
Throw Flacco out there. Hit that like button. That's right, Michael. All right, lights. Offered to trade Marvin, Dobbs, Cup for Murray, Hill, and ETN. He's got money on this league, and he has Richardson as his mate as his QB, and he just want to make sure he knows he gets the Tyreek side of things. Okay, Marvin, Dobbs, and Cup for Murray, Hill, and ETN. I don't like ETN.
He's hurt. Tyreek
I
Hill's on, unless you think
don't
we
like.
just talked about this. Unless Tua's coming back and he's healthy and he's going to stay healthy, Hill isn't worth a lot. Love him on the field; he's an amazing player. But if no one can get him the ball, he can't do
I'm not
anything about
super excited about Kyler. I like Kyler more than I like Richardson, but I think I like having Marvin and Dobbs and Cup back eventually, right? And you're in a 10. Did I see that right? You're in a how many teams are in this league? There's got to be a better quarterback out there than Richardson,
it. Yeah, Murray's
right?
number 10 right now in like say our league.
Yeah.
You got Caleb Williams, you got Jordan Love behind him, Kirk Cousins. There's unless you're in a crazy deep league, this is a year for like
It's
quarterbacks
a
right
10
now.
team league. There's got to be go look at your waivers, or it's not waivers. They're free agents now.
Yeah,
You don't even have to use a waiver priority. There's got to be someone out there better than Richardson, or do you have a backup? Like, who's
unless
your
they're
backup?
unless they're
I
stacking
I, I
two.
don't like that trade. If I knew Tua was coming back in a couple weeks and I knew he was going to be healthy for the rest of the season, I like getting Murray and Hill. I don't like the ETN side of things though.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I wouldn't do it.
Uh,
Um, Traded away Andrews for Najee. I have Kraft. Was tired of having two tight ends. Now Najee is a flex or a fill-in. Thoughts? I mean,
what's the problem? Put him in your flex.
yeah.
He's flex every single week. He's
I would
RB2.
know who your other running back options are.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, right now, I mean, he got you 20 points last week in PPR formats. So, I mean, he's running the ball. He broke off a couple big plays, plowed somebody. I think he threw Max Crosby. Like got one hand on you and just threw his ass across the field. So, yeah, he's getting it. I don't know what's going to happen with Russ up there, though. I don't know, man.
Who's top 10 tight end? Ghost. Where are we talking at with this?
Well, we're probably way behind.
But we'll get there.
No, he's top 10 TE. Well, who did we talk about earlier?
Yeah, we were just talking about Andrews.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, he's not there yet. He's starting to get the ball a little bit.
I know he's not talking about Ferguson. Ferguson's not a top 10 tight end. We were talking about Ferguson.
He's top 10 in your heart, not top 10 in real life. If Dak gets back to feeding him, why not? But he's not. Dak's having a terrible, terrible season. And CD holding out, I don't know, ruined that team. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's the talent that ruined that team. Their offensive line is garbage.
Yeah.
The defense is trash. They're just not good. They didn't do anything to improve their team this year. They were just like, "Oh, we still got Dak and CD. Let's go." No, it's not how this works. That's not how anything works.
You got the GM and the owner on the local radio station, threatening to fire the DJs there, the radio personalities. Like, this is going over well. Like, everything's great in Dallas. Don't worry.
I love it. I love it. I love a train wreck, though.
Yeah.
Need a flex. Stevenson, Juju, Dobbs, Davis, Jackson Smith, Pickens. I think we're just going to have to wait and talk about that. We could talk about that Saturday night, John. How about that? Because we got to see what the status of some of these guys are, right? Because if James Cook is playing, I think you kind of push Davis is out the window, right? Who's playing QB with Pickens, right? I'm not excited about either quarterback option. I like Jackson Smith better than I do, but I also like Juju and Dobbs, I guess. Both better than I do Pickens. Stevenson, if Stevenson comes back, they definitely need the running back help there. He didn't start the last game. Well, he didn't play this week, but the week before he didn't start, but they sure as hell went to him very quickly, right? Yeah. They're like, okay, Antonio Gibson. That was cute, we made him jealous, right? Is the rebound girl for, but you knew they were getting back together, right? Like, it's just, yeah. I would want to see what's up with Stevenson, but I like Juju of those options for me. What about you?
I mean, it's Stevenson, I guess, if it's PPR. But yeah, I need to know if he's going to play or not. Then he almost has it like in the list of which way to go. If Stevenson healthy, sure. If he's not, Juju, you know what I mean? They go Dobbs, but I think I like Juju over Dobbs. Pickens, he's out, whatever. But Ray Davis, if James Cook is hurt, yeah. I mean, you got some good flex appeal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right, Lex. My running backs: Gibbs, Hall, Aaron Jones, Dobbins, Brooks, Braylon. Why did we trade for Najee?
I don't even know what's going on here.
I don't know why you traded for Najee. I would have kept Andrews if those are my running backs. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you just made a trade just to make a
and
trade.
that's exactly what that is. It's a trade to make a trade.
Unless you
Just
just
because with
like
Andrews, you got some upside there, but you didn't need Najee. I mean, I don't know that I'm playing Najee. I'm playing Gibbs. I'm probably playing Dobbins, um, or
if
or Hall,
you go back and
right?
read his comment, this is exactly what happened. He had 2 tight ends. He drafted Andrews a little bit high, and he's been pissed every single week. And he's like, "Damn it, you know what? I'm getting rid of his ass."
I
It's
mean, he
like,
literally said he was tired of having 2 tight ends. I
yeah,
I get it,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Andrews had a pretty good week this last week. Now it's just 1 week, so
yeah,
let's pump the brakes. But yeah,
yeah.
um,
That's exactly what happened. He's like, "Ah!"
all right, what we got here? What were we
That's
looking
a
at
lot
for
of
him?
names right there. Yeah.
Hold on. I know we
Well,
were
is he
we were
talking
talking
about,
about
like,
the trade for A Chain, and they
uh
wanted Eckler and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah. Stroud. Oh, is this is the rest of his roster? Stroud, Jones, Taylor, AJ, London, Bowers. I mean, Worthy. I don't have faith in Jackson Smith, so I'm looking to get a better running back than Eckler. Okay. Um. When, yeah, I mean, you kind of do need another running back, I would think, but I don't know that I just don't know that A Chain's that guy. Again, if Tua doesn't come back, there's no threat of the pass. So they throw 8 in the box and you can't run. You got all these speed guys, but if they can't get past the line of scrimmage, the speed does nothing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I would just keep Eckler, and I just keep Jones and Taylor in the lineup. I think they only got who's got the next bye week. I mean, you might have one more bye week to deal with, and then that's your finish. Well, you got the backup, I'm sure, right? You got Taylor's backup. What was that? See his face. I can't think of his name right now, but
Sermon,
yeah, Sermon.
Sermon's dealing with an injury right now.
He got banged up. Now someone else.
He said the rest of his line is just fodder,
Yeah,
not very good. Yeah.
it's kind of
Okay.
pointless.
Well, I'm waiting on goddamn Puka and my favorite wide receiver Nico, which I don't know if Nico's coming back or not. They're both on the yard. Just need some guys to get me through until my main wide receivers are active. Yeah, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I got Puka too, and he's just sitting there. And then when Nico went down, I feel you. It sucks. You
So I
know,
mean,
it's
I
where you
guess
got to
in
start.
that situation, you kind of are playing Pittman and hoping he catches one of those 60-yard passes, right?
He's
You
not even
know,
that guy. You know, it's Doolin or Pierce that catch those. And that's the
it
thing.
is.
I think there's other receivers to be had right now out there available that are getting a lot of attention because of injuries and things like that. You know, I was sitting there looking at the transactional, like the next up kind of guys, and there's no running backs to be had in like 4 out of my 5 leagues. It's all receivers, and those receivers have performed the last 2 weeks. So it wasn't like a one off. It's like they're trending,
Right.
and they're actually beginning to make a name for themselves and stuff like that. Even Tim Patrick was one of the names I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, like hey, just
Coming
another
off big
receiver on another
plays.
team, and but there are people out there, even say like Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard is only rostered in 41. Now that's a bad example because Devontae just got traded to him, but I'm just saying those are the kind of guys like Gabe Davis is available, right? Gabe Davis is only rostered in like 17% of Yahoo leagues. He got you 21 points this past week, and he dropped like 3 freaking balls. Like, you know what I mean? So there's people out there to go get, and the people to fill in and whatnot. So
Yeah.
uh, just
Uh,
think about that.
and as we're talking about Alan Lazard, we're also going to talk about Garrett Wilson. Is Devontae good or bad for Wilson? I think you have to talk about that with Alan Lazard as well too. And we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the stream. So in case you missed it, if Aaron Rodgers has a little buddy on the team like Devontae, he's gonna heavy targets. He's gonna throw the ball to him, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. He's gonna force feed him to the point to where you might get a little bit frustrated being Garrett Wilson. Alan Lazard, he already knows. Like Alan Lazard already knows what's gonna happen, right? He's like, well, it's been fun. I was Rodgers' little friend, but now he's got Devontae. I'm looking forward to a nice, healthy rest of the season because I'm going to go have a seat down on the bench.
So it's not going to benefit Lazard having a previous relationship. So they're BFFs, but Lazard and him are just friends. But his
Yeah.
BFF's in town, so now Lazard gets nothing. So who's number 2 out there now? You think it's Wilson or Lazard?
It's Wilson. It's Wilson. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been forcing the ball to Wilson here as of late, right? He's
Yeah.
been getting a high target share, but again, Devontae's going to take that away, right?
In red zone target, and if they have to throw
They're
one up,
attached
they're going to
into
run
him.
it. But yeah. Mhm.
The trade just went down yesterday. Aaron Rodgers is on with McAfee, and who's in the background?
Yeah.
Devontae's already there. Devontae, I've got a bad hamstring, is already in practice today. So, come on. Rodgers is calling the shots there. We know that. That's why Salah's gone, because Rodgers is calling the shots. And, yeah.
Just real quick for anybody that might be needing a receiver, go get Demario Douglas for New Orleans. Or excuse me, New England.
New England.
Yep.
The other new team. The other new team.
Mhm. The other new.
Yeah. Let's see here what we got here. John, what do you got? 0.2 PPR plus yardage bonuses. Need a running back. Can start 3 receivers and a flex. My receivers are JJ, DK, Drake, Tankdale.
I think it's got to be Tank. He didn't put a thing in there. Maybe it's Tank.
Tankdale
Yeah, Tank Dell. There you go. Yeah.
or Wandale.
It's a combination of the two dudes.
I
They
don't
got
know.
a super model. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just Tank Dell.
Five super lines form up to make one,
Yeah.
5
He's
mini
got
lines.
a hell of a lineup for receivers. Look at this.
Devontae Smith and Garrett Wilson. I mean, just
I'm going for the first 3 at the moment.
I mean, Devontae Smith looked great this last week,
Mhm.
right? And he wants to know, who should I trade in for what pieces? I want 0 RB.
Oh, you went 0 RB? That it definitely looks like it. That's a hell of a receiver.
I went, yeah.
You got there.
Yeah. I mean, you should be able to get a nice running back for sure, right? There's got to be teams out there that are probably pretty stacked because you took all the wide receivers. Like that's the problem, is you can only start 3 of those guys, and you've got 2 sets of 3.
I would move Devonta and Garrett Wilson. Those are the 2 I'd move because they had good weeks. I think Wilson, obviously, we just talked about his numbers are going to go down. So those are the 2 you can move. Hopefully, someone will pick up a trade because they're going to need some action. You could get any running back you kind of want.
Yeah, I think
with
so.
that, you know what I mean? Especially if you do a 2-for-1 swap for like the RB1. If they're willing to do it, if they went RB and you went 0 RB, so that's why that's a lot of good names on that list.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I have no concern about Lazard because Rodgers' love for Lazard is real. It's not as real as his love for Devontae. Okay.
I feel you, and I'm like, he loves Lazard too, but I know he loves.
It's the meme. Rodgers is walking with Lazard, and Rodgers is looking back as Devontae's coming. Like he's getting ready. I'm just telling you, we've seen this story play out in Green Bay. We've seen this happen. Lazard he's non-existent. How many years did we go, hey, beginning of the year, you're like, hey, Allen Lazard. Then the season starts, and you're like, is he even playing? Because you don't know, because he's not getting the ball, because it's just going to Devontae. So, I mean, I'm just going off of the past history. I could be wrong, right? Could always be wrong, but I don't know, man. Drop
Sorry, I was
one.
looking at this one, yeah.
Ray Davis, Ty Chandler, or Javonte?
Ty Chandler.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Davis could get you some. He might be starting this week. In fact, Ty Chandler is not. He's got you like 5 points every single week all season. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Javonte, he's not. I'm not getting rid of him. I don't think he's still starting out there, right? Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
He had a bad week this week, but he's got you. 26 points the last 2 weeks. Playing New Orleans this week, Carolina next week. He'd be good to keep around.
Yeah.
Get you more in the target. You know, he's more of a pass catching back. But yeah, I think it Ty Chandler for me.
Yep, same here. He was talking about Tank Dell there, up there. Okay.
I figured. Yeah,
Let's see here. Yo, I'm planning to trade away Ayuk, and should I go with Swift or Pollard? Who should I go with? I don't
Swift.
like Swift. I don't like Swift. He's had a good couple weeks, but he'll do that. Swift will have a good couple weeks, and he goes right back to sucking.
There you go, sucking again.
I've seen the story play out. I'm a Detroit guy. I watched it play out in Detroit year after year. We watched it play out last year in Philly. You know, where he careered for 2 games, and then you forgot he was in the league.
Well, it's a different team. You know, they had like 8 running backs out there and whatnot. Now so the last 3 games and their schedule's kind of it's not bad, right? They're on a bye week this week, but you know, he got you 29.5 against the Rams, 22 against Carolina, 21 against Jacksonville. They play terrible teams. The only thing that would make me not go with Swift here is that their schedule is about to get kind of tough. Like they had just a cakewalk the first 6 weeks. They're playing nobody. The only team they really did play that was like worth a crap was Houston. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you got after your bye, you got Washington, Arizona, New England, Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle. You don't know how Caleb's going to do against a good defense. But I mean, Pollard, what's Pollard doing these days?
Hey, playing pretty damn good football is what he's doing.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I own him.
He's got 18. Quit saying that. 18 one week, 15 the next, 5, 20, 17. So about the same.
He's had one bad week.
Yeah, about the same. And they're about to go up against Buffalo, Detroit, New England, almost the same damn schedule. Minnesota, Houston, Washington.
But he's the only thing that team has going for him. Will Levis isn't good.
Yeah. And then
right?
Spears, no wait, not Spears. Who's the backup out there?
Tajay Spears.
Tajay Spears, yeah. And he ain't doing much. It's his team. You know, he's getting 22 rush. He had 17 rush attempts this past week. 3 targets too. That helps if you're in PPR league. So Alan says Pollard. I could lean towards Pollard on this, just based on Swift's the upcoming schedule for the Bears. They had it easy. Like these first 6 weeks, man. Holy moly. They got to do anything they want. They played nobody. So.
And they looked really bad in some of those games too.
The first 3 were
let's not rule that out. The fact that
they did look good the last 3 games, but again, it's against bad teams. So I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not. I just Swift just does nothing for me.
So the guys want to take Ayuk, and you're willing to give up Ayuk for a running back. I mean, obviously this is going to be your RB2, right? Pollard. He's going to be RB2. I mean, he's not flex. He's a solid RB2 candidate. Yeah. Some teams he's RB1, depending on how deep your league is.
Yep. If you went 0 RB, Pollard was the guy you targeted.
You know, I just don't. I know there's like a million ways to draft, you know, and the 0 RB and all. It's crazy. Like I can't commit to something. Like I can commit to bits. Like I drafted all Cincinnati Bengals in one league, but I can't commit to like 0 because I take like next best up kind of, you know, mentality. But if I need a certain, like we're, you know, in the round 4 or 5, maybe 6, I'm like, listen, I need a receiver here. I need a receiver. Then yeah, I'll start kind of shying away from the other positions. But I mean, 0 RB, you're just really hoping for injury.
I mean, yeah, because the league that I drafted 0 RB in, my starting RBs for this week, tentatively, I got to see what's going on with Ramondre, but Jordan Mason, Jerome Ford, I got Aaron Jones as well, and Zamir White were the RBs I got.
See, that's not bad either. Stevenson and Jones, that's not terrible. And then of course you picked up Jordan Mason when CMC news broke, and it's like, yeah, you're making, but that's the only way I think like 0 RB kind of works like that. You know what I mean? Where you know you got like studs and starters just further down, and then it's like, well, how far? What is 0 RB? What does that actually mean? Is it 5 rounds? Or is it 4, 5, 6 rounds?
It starts till round 6, I think it was. Round 6 was the first round I took an RB in.
And you got
And I was
Ramondre, or did you get Jones?
like, Ramondre. I went with Ramondre first, and then
Ramondre?
Jones.
Jones on
Uh,
the comeback. Okay.
yeah,
Appreciate
yeah.
that subscription there. Thanks for subbing, John. Thank you.
Okay. Down bad with injuries. Trade away CD for DK, Brian Thomas, and Chuba. Yeah.
Who
CD
do you
has
got to
a
drop?
I am curious about that. Now, probably a bunch of guys with injuries based on his statement.
What are they coming back? I guess, but everybody has bench players they're willing to ditch anyways. But I mean, yeah, CD has been a total letdown this year. Like, and
The
it's
only
because he didn't go to
concern I
camp.
have is Chuba,
Mm.
and when Jonathan Brooks comes back, is he going to steal some of that thunder? But since they've benched Bryce and went with Dalton, Chuba's looked great. He's been a completely different running back, and that's because you have the threat of the pass that you didn't have with Bryce. But I mean, I would trade away CD for DK and Brian Thomas. Honestly, like I'm going to get 2 good wide receivers for 1, and now I'm going to get 3 pretty decent players. I would like to know who. Yeah, again, who we dropping, but
Yeah, I mean, DK had a bad week this past week, and it's kind of hit or miss. Like they have been spreading the ball around. Like Lockett is still getting that action, and it's just it's wild to still see it. I mean, he's, you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, just looking forward, and you're getting so much value on this. You know,
yeah.
I think this is a pull the trigger type situation. Yeah,
Thanks for that sub, Christian. Christian, we appreciate it.
thank you.
All right, I agree with your brother. Pollard is underrated for some reason, and he has a great fixture for both seasons and playoffs. I have Najee, Pollard, Hall, and A Chain. I would not only trade Pollard here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the reason he gets kind of played
because
down or whatever, because he was on the Cowboys, you know, and they didn't utilize him hardly at all. And when they did, and when he became the lead back, they don't know what they're doing in Dallas, right? They don't know what the hell's going on. And then, but he got traded to a bad Titans team, and so you're like, okay, well, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? There's no threat of the pass, but Levis does throw the ball up, so there is some crazy, like, you know what I mean. And Pollard has looked good this year. He really has. But the underratedness just because of kind of how he played last year and whatnot. And this year he's a different guy. He looks good out there, running with some purpose, got some power,
yeah.
got some moves, looks good.
You ready for a fun fact? I
Not
know
really.
old school is listening. I mean, we saw him in here earlier, but he just took some advice we gave a little while ago when he went and picked up to Mario Douglas in our Strikeout Beer League. So,
Oh, nice. Sorry, I got kids crying and whatnot. You know, I can hear it through the walls. Is that a pain cry, or is that a I'm upset cry?
K. Dotton, Dallas Goddard, or David Njoku?
Joku. Well, how's Goddard been doing this year?
How's Njoku been doing? I feel like I haven't heard his name at all this year.
Yeah, he finally got back. He was hurt for like, I don't know, 4 weeks, and then I think he put up like 10 points last week. So it wasn't like terrible, but
I don't think that's correct.
Auden hasn't done a whole lot. He did I think he scored this week though. Auden got in the end zone.
Njoku had 5 catches for 31 yards this week, 1 for 14 the week before, and then he was out for 3 weeks. In week 1, he was 4 for 44. They are playing the Bengals, which give up a decent amount of points against for tight ends.
Yeah. Goddard's not going to play this week. He's got a hamstring issue.
Okay.
Yeah, he went out early in week 6 against Cleveland, and he didn't practice today. So your choices are going to get down to 2. And like I said, I think Auden got in the end zone again, but that was in an absolute blister of a shootout, or not even a shootout. Excuse me, it was a one-sided beating.
He had 6 targets. He had 2 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. The week before, 3 for 44, 6 for 52, 7 for 47. Shut out in week 2, and then week 1, 1 for 5. But here's the thing with I think you just have a higher potential with K. Dotton. I like the quarterback situation better for K. Dotton than I do for Njoku. If Jameis gets in there, then I like Njoku better with Jameis in there versus Watson.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
kind
where
of
I'm
a
at.
conflict for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm if I had to pick one, I like Njoku, but I like Otten finally got in the end zone. But you're right, like he gets the targets, Njoku gets the targets. But if he's wildly inaccurate, throwing it 10 feet over head or at his feet. He's not going to catch him anyways, but he still scrounged up 5 receptions. He was like did he? I think he was heading towards the end zone, like he was going to score, and then a flag came in or whatever. But anyway,
Jacoby or Pickens this week? Is Jacoby playing? If Jacoby's playing, I like him, but I don't know if he's playing. He was out this last week. What's his status look like for this week?
he's questionable still. They don't know if he's going to get on the field. Yeah, because I have him in the league. I mean, if he's obviously, yeah, if he's playing,
he did not practice today.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes on that. If he's playing, I like that situation better, because New England will pass the ball more than Pittsburgh will. But he didn't practice today, so that's not looking good. So you'll probably be Pickens comics.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. It's going to be so wild to see Russ, starting this week after Fields and the team goes 4-2, and then they're going to put him in. Like,
well, again, it's not for sure. So let's pump the brakes. Nothing's been said for sure.
I saw where it says he's starting this week.
I think who was that? Adam Leffler that posted that.
Who's Adam Leffler?
The fake Adam Scheffler account.
Yeah, he's under consideration.
I just don't see how you go to Russ, honestly. I mean, Fields still had you 2 touchdowns. I mean, they were rushing.
Yeah.
He only had like 140 yards passing, but you're probably going to get about 150 yards passing out of Russell Wilson, but you're not going to have the dynamic of the run, the threat of the run. He ain't running anymore.
I don't even see how this is an option. I don't see how this is an absolute. Pittsburgh's trying to out Pittsburgh themselves.
Now, if this was Cleveland, yeah, they would definitely be going with Russell Wilson over Justin Fields, right? But yeah. Is Kamara still a safe bet to start, even though he is questionable and playing Thursday night after a Sunday game? I think if he plays, you almost have to play him. Like,
it's his hand. He'll be all right.
He should be fine.
You want the advice? Kamara was listed as limited on all 3 of the Saints' Week 7 practice reports due to a hand injury, but it won't stop him from suiting up for the 7th game in a row to start the season. He's averaging 22 touches for 111 yards from scrimmage per game while scoring 7 total TDs in 6 contests on the campaign, a workload that shouldn't be impacted by potential season debut of Kendra Miller this week. So
yeah, I like Kamara. I mean, he's been vintage Kamara almost.
Big fan.
Big fan. Been playing great. Even this last week with Spencer Rattler in there, he still had a good week. Got in the end zone. He's going to be a main focal point of that offense. They're going to be getting the ball to him. Rattler's going to dump the ball off, all that fun stuff. I'm going with now, unless you're telling me, well, but I've got Gibbs over here and I don't know, Saquon Barkley. Okay, well, if you got those 2 guys, I kind of like those guys, right? But odds are you don't have all 3 of them. So, what other RBs you think I can get away trading Ayuk for, or even any wide receivers because he's been such a letdown? I don't know what you got to find a guy who you got a 49ers fan in your league.
I mean, you just said it. He's such a letdown. Why the hell would anybody want him? They want him either if they think he's going to turn around the season. Another guy that held out and has sucked this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is not shocking stuff. This is not shocking news.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we're fans of him, to be honest. And it sucks.
I drafted him in several leagues. He was a guy that I went and got in a few leagues. Now, in a few of the leagues, it was, hey, I'm going with Debo or Ayuk in this round. I kind of wanted Debo, but then the guy before me drafted Debo. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to get Ayuk, right? And he's at this point where he's on my bench now. Like, I've got other guys I'd rather play over him until he shows me that he knows how to act right. Because he gets paid. He wanted to get paid. He gets paid. Then he just decides, you know what? I don't like it here. This place is dumb. Everything's stupid and everyone sucks. That's Ayuk.
You should have traded him last week or week 5. After his week 5 performance, he scored you 25 points. That was the time. But then in your head, I know what you're thinking, Christian. I know what you're thinking. You're like, he's back.
Same thing I thought. Let's go, baby.
He's back, baby.
And then he said, no, watch this, guys. just fart and fall down, you know. But yeah, that's oh man. But you know what, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We got to go head over to Strikeout Beer. That's our other podcast where we don't talk about just fantasy football. We talk about just about everything else. Um, but we thank you guys so much for coming in. The new subs coming in here. All the old people in here. Michael, thank you so much, brother, for coming in. We appreciate you. As always, I'll be back Saturday night between 10 and 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, talking all your start sit, trade talk, whatever you guys want to talk about. We'll be talking it, going through it live for about an hour, hour and a half. We'll see. We'll see how long. I think it was like a little bit over an hour and a half this last week. Just depends on how the chat's going. But thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. As always, I'm Alan.
I'm RD.
We'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.